to Smuglaroos.
We're here.
Smuglaroos is back in town.
We're alive.
And all you hear is our sounds on Broadway.
Live from Smuggleroo 4 Studios, we have breaking news today. Charleston White has sent his muscle to Bandman Kevo in wild events. Here with Tony now on some Sexy Red news.
While Doja Cat has been losing endless followers of her most loyal friends and loyal family, Sexy Red has now attracted all of the women's heartstrings of the United States. Sexy Red has also finessed Drake, Desi Banks, and now Gilly the Kid to her roster of notable lovers. It's like, nah, not notable lovers.
In other breaking news, Tim Duncan has been removed from a lot of people, top 10 players, after recent allegations and possible proof that he is gay. Well, they done did it.
They done passed it?
They done passed the law saying that now they gotta teach the kids in Florida that slavery was good for black folks.
Jesus Christ.
I don't think that's what the law specifically says. Like, I read through it, and I think it was more so the line of like protecting middle schoolers from like explicit, I guess, like the imagery that slavery brings forth with like whipping and shit, like the gruesome side of it. I'm not sure. That's just what I skimmed through, but like this is like a hell of a slap to black people.
Jesus Christ.
Like, y'all just going straight up say, yeah, y'all history is just what we say it is. Fuck what really happened is what we say gonna happen.
So they literally not teaching that slavery was violent.
So here it is. They say the middle school standards approved by the Florida State Education Board say students should learn about skills learned by slaves that could be applied for their personal benefit.
Skills learned by slaves.
So they learning stuff that slaves knew for the survival?
What?
Yeah, that's what they saying.
What the fuck? What did slaves know? How to say yes, master? Don't beat me, master? Where you want this, master?
For their personal skills.
That's what they said.
So are they teaching about slaves that were actually like inventors that like slave owners compressed?
Yeah.
They at least telling us about those. All right, I guess that's cool. I didn't think it was a big deal because again, when I had kids, I'm not going to trust the school, the motherfucking teach them.
To teach them about black.
So the FDLAOE, Florida Department of Education, fired back at the White House over criticism about the Sunshine State's new African American curriculum standards, and this is according to Fox News. The department sent to Florida school district superintendents a letter entitled "Response to False Attacks from the White House on African American History Standards."
So they saying that it's false, and she just doing it as a smoke and mirror.
So I'm issuing this memo to reaffirm that we will be moving forward implementing Florida's new history standards, despite the partisan and inaccurate criticism we have received. Florida's thorough standard promotes the teaching of an accurate, detailed, and nuanced history free from political sedimentation and indoctrination. The letter goes on to say, to develop these new standards, the department assembled an August group of African American scholars and Florida educators utilizing a rigorous process, and we couldn't be happy with the results.
They say they have African American scholars that actually put this curriculum together.
Yes.
But again, thank you. But Thank you, Stone. I was about to say I'm not gonna trust like motherfuckers to teach my kids
Kids was
anything.
black and white.
Like what's the true history? Because at the end of the day, like nigga, that's some.
And that's why rich people fucking homeschool their kids.
Yeah, this is shifts to the commentary, right? Because my thing is that's why they take them to private schools,
Right.
because private schools will teach. Like I went to a private school, bless you, and you went to a good public school.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I love you, Rob. I don't know where you went to.
I went to a DC public school.
DC public school, which is not a state. So we're actually are a little bit exceptions to the rule, honestly, because these are state schools, not state, private, good white school.
State.
Right. Like, you're going to learn unfiltered education. And what we learned in this area was that slavery was not a good thing. This is why it's illegal now. And that the skills that they had to garner is the same amount of skills you have to learn at work. I have to learn at work. You have to learn from work, because that's what we do every fucking day. We have to learn it. So if that's their concept of nuanced history, then I'm honestly saying that's a short-sighted and honestly ridiculous approach to education.
Honestly,
To remove books, and we talked about this earlier, to remove books from the library that states history, like from people that we can read to this day,
Right.
up here in Maryland.
Right.
You mean to tell me, bro, it's just so against the standard of what we should be on in America, bro.
but you say it's against the standards. So as black people, do we need to raise our standards or just separate? Because at the end of the day, I was gonna think of Umar starting his own school. How much longer before other like African American philanthropists start their own school where they teach their own curriculum?
You see Diddy has his own school, and I think Kanye had his own school. Like, people are doing it. Rich people are definitely doing it. But my thing is, with Umar, like, we love him. We love his philosophy. But the school hasn't really been hitting off. Maybe it's because he's not accepting certain donations. Maybe it's because it's segregatory in terms of its.
And we saw Kanye school got shut down.
But people still, yeah, exactly.
And that's the kill. That's why people don't trust.
It's not accredited.
Yeah, those schools yet.
It's not accredited.
So again, nobody's gonna really go to those schools, and that's why it's either private school your kids or it's homeschool them.
And we've been seeing a lot of attacks.
Sad but true.
We've been seeing a lot of attacks on education this year, especially when it comes to the racial component of things. Like affirmative action just got repealed, right? The Harvard legacy admission process is being under scrutinization right now, and potentially legal ramifications. And then Florida and California are doing different things in different spectrums. One in the education realm and one in the business realm. Both in the business realm though, but more so California. I mean, actually, most of Florida. Florida's on some other shit. But in terms of like the education promise of it, removing books from the library, bro, having this new thing that is uniting both black liberal and conservative scholars and politicians, it shows me that the White House's anger and my anger and your discontentment of it is not unjustified. And the Florida Department of Education needs to have some sort of oversight. Somebody needs to have an oversight over that operation.
But it seems like it never has for some reason.
Because the governor appoints these guys.
When has Florida ever had any type of government?
That's my point. It's like when are we going to start watching Florida a little closer than everybody else? They need to be watched.
It's called federalism.
We watch Texas the most.
But that's my thing. It's called federalism, you guys. Like, just the difference between state and federal, like, politics. Like, there's a national government and there's a state government. States have their own autonomy, bro. Like, we can't really police them.
That's true.
Their taxes are dumb low. They aren't really bringing that much money into the country in terms of the GDP development.
Right.
Businesses like Disney are now running away from Florida. So it's all about the consumer choice. That's our system. Let's see if the federal system, not the federal government, can intervene in Florida and say, listen, we need a new governor. We need a new Florida Department of Education. We need new. Hopefully, this can cause an uproar in that state.
We're gonna hope.
We're gonna hope. On to the next.
TJ,
do you suffer with depression?
Not do you suffer with depression.
Do you stay up late at night
Stop
wondering how you will get this check?
Oh my God.
Are you constantly
We're supposed to be
battling
serious about this
with anxieties about how you will face everyday struggle?
Jesus fucking Christ.
You're not alone.
You don't sound serious. You don't.
Tom, did I sound serious?
You did sound facetious.
I sound facetious.
Taking a serious matter and making it a joke.
Oh my god.
We are trying to be serious about men's mental health.
They demonize me.
I ain't demonizing Rob, bro. Rob can do whatever he wants. Honestly, that wasn't that bad. It's just
wasn't.
TJ feeling accepted because that's his tour. It's just his topic.
This is hilarious though. He
feel
was
me?
just cooking these niggas on some like.
I mean,
commercial
honestly,
shit.
it's funny though. Depression is funny when you're out of it.
And it's,
when you're out of it.
but especially,
Like, I'm sorry, but you have to like persevere, my friend.
But think about what we about to talk about: men's mental health.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, remember, I always say, as a man, bro, you have to smile through everything.
Yes. Yeah.
So yes, we know it's a serious topic, but all right, my nigga, don't take it so seriously. There's no reason to be uptight about it.
One, real quick, if you do need therapy, if you do need pills, if you do need things to, you know what I'm saying, help you get through the days, I definitely understand. You should try to go get that help. But I feel like as men today, we have lost all stress. And stress also could be good for men. People don't realize that. But at the end of the day, stress is what got us here to this point. Because we're always worried about what's next, what's new, what can I do to improve myself. Nowadays, it seems like everybody wants us to just be okay with being okay. And at the end of the day, it's also a part of a man's mental health to progress, to not stay stagnant, to not sit here and worry about the bullshit like whether Lil Wayne is going to retire next year or not. That's not, or to whether is LGBTQ, what does the Q stand for? That's not our role in this whole shit. That's not our role at all. Now, but again, mental health is a serious thing. If you need that therapy, if you need anything, stuff like Talkspace, stuff like, I forgot the other junk. It's a lot of call, and it's even a Zoom junks that they got now to where you can actually talk to somebody face to face or go in there, whatever you got to do. But in terms of are we getting soft as men? Yes. Do we need to get soft as men? No. That's how I feel about it.
Just like the UFO, like the stigma around like reporting the UFOs, there's a stigma around mental health and just generalized health as a man. I agree to a degree to what TJ said for the most part. I mean, I don't think there's a removal of stress per se, because it's still going to be stresses if you care enough about world. If you care about the things that you can't control sometimes, it can provide you some stress. There's some things that you can't control that provide you some stress. Now, to TJ's point though, being in a comfortable space, being super comfortable, farty, you chilling, you just
Cooling it.
drinking your shot at a good cafe, calling Uber Eats to come to your door, not really working out, just I make 100 G's, I can just do like I did. Like that overall aura of our society kind of diminishes the gender gap a little bit. And as traditional men, we want to be able to support and love our woman because we don't want our woman to honestly work that much.
Right.
But that accompanies ourselves with some stress. There's some guys out there that don't really care about that role,
That type of stress.
that type of stress, so they choose not to deal with that type of pressure, which can be. So there's two types of stress. You got eustress, which is good, and distress, which is clearly bad. Distressing situations happen to all of us. We lost brothers, we lost family members, we lose opportunities sometimes, we lose potential lovers, we, make mistakes that we're not proud of sometimes. We, don't maximize or optimize our opportunities or our, life for the most part. And those type of things can, generally not compensate, but generally can culminate to stress levels.
Right.
And luckily for me, I have such a great system of loving friends.
Support team.
Our committee is amazing. It's all about quality, not quantity. But you have to, at the end of the day, learn to be self-sufficient. Because at the end of the day, anything can happen at any given moment.
To anybody.
And you have to be able to compose, be in the moment, be where your feet are, and learn to compartmentalize without demonizing, Rob's word of the day, yourself or others. People lose their life over petty crime all the time. Of a girl cheating on you, you elect to use a gun to kill the guy and yourself. 2 lives of ruin because you couldn't control your emotions. You can control the simple fact of rejection. What does that show us? It shows us that world is too comfortable for us growing up. We didn't really ever learn to hear the word no half the time. And honestly, it's sad to see us spiral to that. But it's important to understand that it's a self role. It's your responsibility as a man, as a human, not even as a man. As a girl, you can be a better woman every time you have the opportunity to be. And we just have to be able to get outside of that testosterone-driven aggression. Right. Just to see the bigger picture sometimes.
And exercise self-fucking control. Because number one, as a man, you need to exercise self-fucking control.
Especially as a black man. A little intersectional. My fault, Rob.
Yes.
Look, TJ.
Oh, shit. My bad, bro. My bad. The water.
What is he doing? What was he even doing? Tying the shoe?
The water drop.
His sandal, tying the sandal.
The water drop.
He got them Yeezys on. He got them Yeezys.
The water drop. Excuse me, guys.
No, it's a little intersectional. As black men, especially in professional roles, we can't be that assertive, aggressive individual. We have to be composed, polished. I remember the other day, I had to base somebody at work, and I typically am so nice, but when somebody breaches that respect level across that line, your inner man shows up like, listen, you're not about to talk to me like that. I'm over here trying to find solutions, and your ass is crying over $500.
Right.
When I know you got it, if you want to go to another place, please, by all means.
Go to another place. You still have to pay $500.
Yeah. I mean, you already signed the contract.
You might get it for $320.
But my thing is, it's about respect, bro. And every day, bro, and even in your job specifically, when Rob talked to me about his shit, bro, I'm like, bro, he has so much composure. Because I would have to beat the shit out of somebody sometimes.
Working my job helped me understand mental health, bro.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, it's like, to me, I take mental health seriously. Like, if you ever feel some type of way, like, I hate when people feel like men don't communicate. And they be like, that's the number one reason why men go through stress and problems.
We do go through.
We go, and again, that's just society driven, because society tells us at a young age the dumbass shit to be a lone wolf. Like, be top dog. You don't need people around you. No, you always need a team. You always need friends.
Somebody.
And what fucks me up, you can die without human contact.
Yeah.
Like, without human communication.
You can dabble with the heartbreak as well.
That's insane. And so as a society, they drive us to be lone wolves, to be top dog, to be the head macho. And then when people act that way, y'all demonize them for being the way that y'all wanted them to be.
Y'all drove them to be.
But
better word for it, drove them to be.
I didn't want to end your soliloquy. I mean, I agree that to a degree, like, we have a responsibility to be, nonchalant and unfazed sometimes. But it's important to, analyze it with a certain level of grace. Like, I know for a fact if I'm out here, like, being a total liar at my job, just straight finessing. There's people in my company that are straight finesse people. In the game, in the industry, straight finesse people.
Right.
And they don't give two shits.
Why should they?
Why should they? Because it's not my money.
Right.
And it's like that disconnectedness between the other human kind of drives me insane when it comes to our definition of what a man's supposed to be. Top dog, top G. A top G, top dog to me is somebody who love their family, who support their friends, who care about other people. And sometimes other men misconstrue what a top G is supposed to be. Top G is not supposed to backdoor your guy. Top G not supposed to disrespect your folks.
Anything, like, to me,
right.
I always say,
because I paid the bill, my bad.
No, yeah, I always say it starts at loyalty with men. Like, that's what we lost in this day and age. Like, it's hard to stay loyal to people.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, we not taught to be patient with people.
Also, it's about the decisions we think we can make based off decisions from our fathers. We think since our father did it, we can go through the same thing when it's a whole different time.
It's a whole different time.
So we saw, my father did it. He was okay.
Turned out great.
Turned out all right. So I think I could do it. Now, when you do it in this generation, it's like, damn, I forgot that was in the 90s.
You can't.
Can't get it up. Can't get away with that no more. Sorry.
And to your point, and like to the other half of it, if you don't have a father in the household, you were raised by a single mother, what does society tell you have to be? by just our media, by just social media, by
The
just
man of the house.
Yeah, the man of the house, and what did the man? Because you don't know how to be a fucking man of the house. Why? Because you wasn't around a man in the first place.
So basically, whatever TV show you is a man.
Whatever.
That's who's a man.
Like if you see Uncle Arrow, thank God.
Thank
You're
God.
lucky that you watched that episode.
But that ain't what. But the saddest part is that's as a boy, that's not what you drawn to.
No.
Uncle Arrow is not the junk you drawn to, because Uncle Arrow got money. I ain't got no money right now. I'm broke as a bitch.
And that's another thing. Like our value should not be contingent on how much we make.
Yeah.
Our value is what we contribute to the people around us, to what we contribute to ourselves, the growth that you see in yourself, bro.
But some men don't figure that out until they 36.
But my thing is that responsibility also doesn't just stop at the man. The woman too. Like women just would be like, "Oh, you making how much? Oh, I'm not fucking with you."
I mean,
And that's something that happens. And like they would talk about like, "Oh yeah, you make this amount. You're not even him for real."
You're not even him. I think that's society way of just driving us apart. Because at the end of the day, they push that, but not every woman is like that.
hell no.
But
That is not every woman's like that.
the way society wants women to be, or the way
That's
they
how they
pushing
want them to be.
this idol, oh, your man gotta have something. And I feel like men, we're pushing more so like, nah, y'all keep saying equality, so let's get rid of all this breadwinner shit. We split everything down the
Down
middle. And females is now like calling us broke.
They're not fucking with that.
My fault, I'm broke because you want me to feed you for a night?
I'm sorry, but this is a different America than it was in our granddaddy and daddy's age. Like you're not making 2 cents on our dollar now. You're making probably 75 to 80 and making more having more opportunities because you are excelling more in school. You know, you care enough. And it's like,
To where you know how to get grants and shit like that.
yes, bro, like us as men, like we grow up too late. Like according to maturity, like y'all mature faster than us. So where's that level of grace? You know what I'm saying? Like how can
Level of compassion,
to sit here and say, oh y'all
understanding.
they say, oh, these are the guys who are 30 plus who making 50K. So what? Like they have an opinion too. Just like you would want to have if you had brought out your experience, it's like somebody coming out here and demonizing you, saying that you ain't shit because your ass ain't fat. Or your titties ain't
small
nothing right. Or you not looking too good. Your face card not really clearing.
Or that bag real live not Birkin.
Or you not putting that shit on, AB. Like, what are we doing?
Right, your frontal left side a little bit, girl.
And my thing is, bro, like, that's why I love that I'm blessed. I'm blessed because I have friends. I have girlfriends and guy friends who are able to compartmentalize better, that are mature.
Yep.
And that's maybe because of the environment that we're in.
And you can have actual conversations with and shit.
Yes, but without it being like breaching any sexual innuendo sometimes. Like, and that's the beauty within this area that we live in. But if you're in a rural ass area with traditional dogma, just it permeating in the whole society of milieu and shit.
That's what I say. Like that Truman feeling. Like you just trapped in the same shit every day.
Yeah.
Or that Plato fallacy when you're just looking at a cave and you can't look out. Like your truth is behind you. Allegory of the cave.
Everybody's showing you pictures of horses. Nah, my guy, a horse really look different.
Right.
Yeah. And I think that's the most important part about it. Just self-research, self-guidance, self-control.
And read books.
Yes.
I'm so sorry. I will continue to say this. Read books, niggas. Like, at least read 5 minutes a day. Audible, 25 minutes a day.
I was just about to say, just try to at least listen if you can't read it.
Or read a book a month. That's $12 a year. My thing is, I don't
aim
read.
for a book a month.
Aim for the stars, land on the moon. At least you had a space, you passed the radiation belt.
Exactly.
No
You read 6 books that year. Fair enough. You did good.
My book of the month is How Europe Destabilized Africa.
Well,
by
Rodney Harris.
I'm
still watching and reading Jedi shit. So until I get off of that,
I'm watching the second. I'm reading the second by Carol Anderson, how race and guns interact in American society for the Second Amendment. Because you know how it's a color barrier between that. But in terms of like us as men, like self-discipline is so important, bro. Because it's like our expectations. Like we shouldn't be expecting pussy. We shouldn't be like, oh, I need that ass. Like, no, I need to get in a bag. Because my thing is, if you get in a bag,
You get to your goals, my guy.
you get to your goals. The right woman's gonna receive that.
yes, the one you need.
Get
When you need it,
Get
right?
some dreams, bro. Like, y'all wake up first thing, bam.
Pussy,
Pussy.
drugs,
If
money.
it's not pussy, money. Like, Bro, money only gets you so far in this world, bro.
Yes, bro.
It's so short-sightedness, bro.
And
so
it runs out.
Bro, short-sightedness,
Runs
bro.
out quick.
You know what doesn't? You know what also runs out? The time you can spend with your friends and family.
Oh, yeah, most definitely. And and time is the most like
Unrenewable resource.
That shit should be the most cherished currency ever.
We would tax it if we could.
But we do.
If I can get back half the time with the people I wasted, bro, shit, I'll be a better man.
And that's what's so crazy.
We would tax it.
Just to go back to like the MLM shit, bro. Like that's so bad. Like they really asked you to like. There was some stories of people just having a real deal, like not see their mother when she was on her deathbed because of that jump. But my thing is, they were so in their head about some shit. They got manipulated, bro. It's so easy to get manipulated in this world. We got manipulated for 60 years that there was no UFOs, there was no alien life. Until 2023, we found this out that it's true.
True as hell.
We found it was in a dark about a lot of shit throughout this world, bro. And the multi-level marketing is more like punitive in your brain. Like you're there every day. You have to go to 2 meetings a week. You go to a long vacation. Like, bro, it's not vacation, but a long like trip to go to a morale boosting event.